get you in trouble with your mom.
Make me swearing? Yeah, well. Is it one of those?
It is one of those.
Is that minutes or seconds? All right. Is this going?
It is.
All right. Well, hi. Welcome to the Ascertainers. This is episode, if I'm not mistaken, 24?
I believe, yes, it is 24.
Boy, that feels... I feel like we were just celebrating like episode 10, and all of a sudden we're at 24, and we've not improved, I don't think.
Well, we haven't got worse.
That's the part that can be debated.
In my mind.
I think that... how's your thing? You're like 5 feet from your microphone, and I'm like 2 inches, but you're usually louder. So
I am, so I'm trying to back off a little
You're
bit.
the sound engineer, so that's good. All right, well, 24. You know what they say about 24?
It's one past 23.
Yep. Nailed it. It's also a pretty good TV show, which I never watched.
And you are?
Oh, bored? Bored in this relationship? And you?
I'm Mark. Welcome to the Ascertainers.
Oh, you want to know my name?
I do.
Yeah, that's Mark.
I do know your name. I was just thinking the listeners want to know.
Mark is the podfather of this podcast. And tonight we had another great example of somebody who said, "Oh, is that your podcast?" to me, and Mark got affected by that. But we worked it out. I never say it's mine. They just assume it because I'm that much cooler than you.
Well, that is true.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's not what I was going for. I was just trying to get you riled. So we went to Newt. We played golf today.
Wow. Don't even bring that up.
How'd it go?
I am getting worse at that game.
Did you clean the floor with me? Is that what you did that one time?
I beat you on the back 9.
Yeah, so how it worked today was, I don't know what happened last week. I think I got beat by a stroke. And then on Monday, which was Labor Day, which I went out golfing with my fantasy. Did I say I'm Jim yet? Because I'm sure
you
people
haven't.
are really wondering. I'm Jim. That's all you need to know. The other ascertainer. I'm what makes us the ascertaini. Otherwise, there'd just be Mark, the ascertainer. Used to be neighbors for about 20 years. Mark moved about a mile away from me to prove his point. I get it. And
I don't think you do.
Yeah. Well, anyway, why are you back in my basement? Why are you here like most days when I'm upstairs working and you sneak in the window? But anyhow, we golf. We're trying to get our golf in because, it won't be long. We live in Minnesota, and it will be, snow on the ground. It's very hard to golf in those conditions, although people do it.
They do.
I've never done the, whatever they call that, snow golf or whatever. But anyway, Mark is blaming me because at first he goes, "Hey, do you want to golf?" And I'm like, because I golfed on Monday of this week. We record on Friday night. And on Monday, which was Labor Day, I had my hometown fellas, my high school classmates, have a fantasy league that's been going for like 30, I think it's like 30, almost 40 years. Long time. Anyway, we played a big boy course with some big boy golfers. I'm not going to say they're good golfers, but last year in my group, a guy got a hole in one. So that's a thing.
With his driver.
You can talk about that all you want. No, it was... so anyway, I played... It was like 98 degrees for the high. It was too hot to drink. And as anyone who's listened to this podcast knows how much I enjoy a cool beverage, it was just bad. And I was just playing shitty, and... it was bad. So Mark's like, "Hey, you want to golf?" I'm like, "No! I'm done. I want to get rid of my clubs." But luckily I was able to still... I didn't play that well. You just, for some reason,
it was bad.
Are you trying to, am I dying? Do I have, some unnamed disease? And you're like, well, as part of the Make-A-Wish, the Mark-A-Wish Foundation, I will just let Jim beat me at golf, because some of those shots looked like you would bet against yourself in Vegas. Like you would be banned from the...
Well, if I said that was the point of me playing bad, then it wouldn't stroke your ego like I was trying to do, so I can't admit to that.
Oh, is this what you're trying? Do you think I'll buy this? I do. I don't care. It's not so much that I won that Mark lost. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah.
I shot 53, which is usually try to get around 50, and I had fucking back-to-back 8s and a 9.
Two pars in a row.
I did have 2 pars in a row. I think I had 3 pars total. Did I not?
I don't remember, but that sounds right.
I'll tell you this now, I had 2 birdie putts and didn't get my money's worth. But anyway, the problem with this is that it's so cold.
Do you get condensation? He's drinking
No, my fingers are I can't feel them.
Mixed drink tonight instead of beer.
I'm having a big ranch water, for those who are unaware. I feel like I'm always bloated and hungover the next day, so I thought, I'm going to mix it up a little bit. So I'm having it's tequila and I guess club soda. What are you doing?
I have popcorn breath.
What the heck is that? Just all of a sudden tonight?
Well, I did a
burped?
gym and it was, yeah.
Oh, you did a gym. I'm working on my burping. Anyway, it's
getting really good at it.
It's 2-to-1 club soda to tequila and then a half a lime, and I got this cool little lime juicer or citrus juicer that it's like a vice grip. You just hammer down on it, and it's quite refreshing. I like it.
I like the sound effect.
But I like to hold a Coors Light in my hand when I'm talking, and this thing is killing me. I can't feel my right hand. That might be a medical, too. I don't know. You keep an eye on me, okay?
With all the hair on it, you'd think you'd be able to do it.
That's this one. This one's for business. This one's for...
Do they have, glass koozies that you could buy to hold it? So
glass koozies? Well, who would make a koozie out of glass?
No, one for a cup of that size.
I think they call them mittens. And my eldest bought me this cool little, it's like a mitten that turns into it's like a Transformers hand, but you put a beer in it. So it's like a mitten koozie. And I can't wait for cold weather to use it. I've had it for 2 years and I haven't used it yet, but...
Thinking back to when I was a little kid and my mom bought me mittens, I didn't know she was telling me to drink more alcohol.
Turned out okay, didn't it?
Yeah.
So we're doing 2 episodes tonight if we can, because we both have something more pressing in 2 weeks. So,
well, if we don't get it tonight, we can do it next week.
The idea tonight was that we are going to, for episode 1, we're going to talk about The Who, the band The Who. Are you familiar?
I am.
Okay. You remember.
I remember.
Yeah. Anyway, and then we want to talk about stuff from last week, and then we want to talk about Newt stuff. I say we go into the Who stuff. Oh, let's play the radio game right now.
Okay.
Okay. New and improved radio game. No more sitting through commercials. It might be worse, but it can't be worse, but it might not be better. How about that? That's a safe bargain. Mark, do you want to tell me who? So the premise is that we KQ92 in Minneapolis has been playing the same music forever and ever. So we feel like, okay, we'll just each guess 4 songs or 4 bands, and the 2 of the bands will be kind of very mainstream, kind of boring, and then 2 will be a little less on the radar, not necessarily one-hit wonders, but those are in play, but just not Zeppelin and AC/DC 4 times. So you get 2 mainstreams and then 2 oddballs. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
Go ahead.
I'm going with Peter Frampton and Eric Clapton for my... Oh, I got the tongue. See? A little theme.
And you get cream.
I'll take anything. I got Derek and the Dominoes, Clapton, anything. So, those are my 2 mainstreams. And my 2... What are your 2 mainstreams?
I had Foreigner and Jimi Hendrix.
Heard of them. Both of them. Good. Very good.
Thank you for the...
Affirmation?
Yeah.
I'll give one of my long shots is Steve Forbert. Forbert.
I was thinking Qbert.
Nope.
Wasn't that the video game?
Steve Forbert is an American treasure. He's still at it, actually, but he sang Romeo's tune, which is one of my favorite songs ever penned. We talked about this probably 20 episodes ago. Who's your first long shot?
I'm trying to think of the Romeo tune.
Meet me in the middle of the night. Let me hear you say everything's all right.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
know the song. Everyone knows that song. Nobody knows it, but everybody knows it. It's one of those songs.
My first one was Pat Travers.
Boom, boom.
Out go the lights.
Yeah. Way
And-
up high. It's a good song. I don't think it's going to happen, but
I did not know he wrote and sang Snorting Whiskey. Drinking cocaine.
technically I did. I think they used to play that on KQ. I don't think they can pull that off anymore.
I don't think so, but I've heard a lot of covers of that song, but I didn't know he was the original. Go ahead.
So my next one is Honeymoon Suite. They sang a song called I've Got a New Girl Now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I hope. You asked me about it earlier. I'm like, nope, I can't tell you. It's got to be save it for the podcast. But
I don't know if I heard that on KQ. I heard it on 93X, but not KQ.
well, we'll find out now, won't we?
Yeah, it's a good song, though.
Well, thanks, Mark. How about your next one?
I said the Beaver Brown Band. You said John Cafferty, but the ones that...
We'll take them all. John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band is who most people would associate.
Right.
So you get both John Cafferty's extensive solo catalog and the Beaver Brown Band's 2 songs. So
The Dark Side.
I'm gonna go to the headphones, and the new game is, and we'll try not to eat up the exact same amount of time explaining the game. When I put the headphones on to hear KQ, if it's a commercial, then we will go to a previously picked band, which I just remembered, and we won't waste your time. So here we go.
Can you explain that again? Because
Nope.
we haven't wasted enough time. Oh,
It's
listening.
a song. It's Deep Purple.
Which one?
My Woman from Tokyo.
Oh, great
Not a
song.
bad song, man. Deep Purple is I hate to say, it's hard to call them underrated, but there's not many bad Deep Purple songs, and there's a lot of them.
They're classified as the first heavy metal rock band that made a #1.
What song was that, by the way? Wasn't Smoke in the Water, was it?
I believe it was.
I'll tell you, I heard a Black Sabbath song. It's got I think it's NIB or something like that. Sabbath was so good. It was from their whatever, they just the album called their eponymous Black Sabbath, self-titled. And it's the one that goes, "Da-na-na-na." Oh yeah. Yeah, everyone knows the song, but they don't know the name of it. NIB, I think. Oh, I got to look it up now. But anyway, so we got the radio game out of the way. We were going to talk Who songs. Mark said, what are your top 3 favorite Who songs? And
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think I have 3. And then I had to research it. And I came up with, you changed my opinion on the Who. Because they're a pretty good band, apparently.
They are. They've not many people have heard of them, but I think they're pretty good.
Well, the name like the Who, I mean, they set themselves up for failure. They should have been called the Now.
So
Or the
going
when,
back to
or
that,
one of the other prepositions that were available. Who, what, why, where, and now. No, I don't think those are prepositions. I think prepositions would be on, over, under, near. Fuck, I gotta look that up. We had an issue. Oh, we got to talk about the Who songs, and then when we get to the arrows and omissions, I had a conversation with my mom last week after we recorded. Possibly inadvisable, but I posted something on Facebook and she started commenting on it, so I had to call her to, pump the brakes a little bit. Oh, this is the worst. This drink is so cold. It's just all ice. But anyway, I was reminded that the name of the dog, I got the name of the dog wrong. So stay tuned. It wasn't Jocko or Jacko. But it was a equally awesome name. So Who songs. Mark, it was your idea. You want to talk about like some of your favorite Who songs? I have, just so you know, 1, 2, 3.
and a couple honorable mentions.
Actually, I just have 1 extra. But there's a bunch. And the odds are we're going to have two of ours will be the same. At least one will be the same.
Yeah, I agree.
So who goes first?
I can.
Go.
Who are you?
Okay, Jim.
And I'm Mark.
I
Welcome
thought
to the
we did this
Ascertainers.
before.
Oh, I don't know.
Who the fuck are you? are you? It's a good song. It's a good song. Do you know what album that's on? Because I found when I looked through the
Wasn't it on this? Who Are You? It wasn't it on
is that the name of the? I got things to add to all this stuff, but the album Who's Next looked like a pretty good album based on the hits that were on that one. So I don't know if Who Are You is on that one, but the Who's a good band. Okay, I'll admit it. I don't know why Roger Daltrey bugs me when he would just stand there and do
all
that thing.
the mic and have it all taped up and
Pete Townsend.
Yeah, he's kind of got creepy.
Great
there.
rhythm section, Keith Moon, John Entwistle, undeniable, and maybe that's really what carried that band. But Pete, Pete Townsend I was a big soloist guy back in the day. Like play me shred a little, and you just never had a solo that did anything for me.
I had this conversation with our old band member, our great guitarist in the Mossball Torsion days. Yes.
Yeah, Audie E. Sorry.
And I brought that up, that he didn't come across as a great guitarist. And he goes, he might not have done all the things you were talking about, but he was a great musician. He was a great writer. He's a great composer, which makes him, and the sound of the Who makes them sound like more than a 4-piece band.
It's true. It's true. Apparently, Mark and I both have either COVID or gravel throat, but I think it sounds cool. I think it sounds like an effect, like we're...
I sound...
yeah, look at you. Like he's drowning his own fluid.
Okay, your turn.
Well, let's talk about... I will say that Billy Joe Armstrong, in an interview with the Green Day guy, said that like one of his idols was Pete Townsend. I'm just like, okay. I guess you ripped him off too. I think he was not a very authentic musician. There's a rumor that the riff from American Idiot was borrowed, stolen. We'll see who's listening to the podcast now. Bring the lawyers on. That there's a band called the Dillinger 4. I hope.
Oh, I did hear
or
this.
Or is it the Dillinger Escape Plan? I think it's the Dillinger 4. And they had a song called like Double Whiskey Coke. And they went on the road with Green Day before Green Day was like huge. And interesting how the American Idiot, the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, hey, da-da-da-da, it's a little reminiscent. So I'm not going to say what happened or whatever because there's a lot of speculation. But let's just say I'd have a lot more respect for a band that wrote their own shit and didn't steal it from an under or lesser known band. But my first Who song, I'm going to go with Bargain. We talked about it on the last podcast.
Oh, that was one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, call that a bargain. The best I ever had. It's just it's a good song. That's all I can say. I can't really elaborate too much on it, but I like it. You're next.
Join Together.
Okay, that's that Magic Bus shit that I didn't care for. Join Together with a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
good for you.
When you say Magic Bus, that's a different song. So
Well, I understand, but isn't it like the same?
No.
Can people hear this? I don't think they can.
Well,
I can hear the shit out of it. Well, when I was tapping on it one time, they couldn't hear it. But you know what they could hear? This.
That is loud.
Oh, hey.
That almost sounds like a...
Here comes our mascot.
It sounds like you're a DJ with that doesn't.
Hang on. It's best just to let him finish it. Anyway, so we did that one time with a glass. I had a glass of beer full of ice because I was drinking my beer too slow. Yeah, that episode was so shitty. We just recorded over it. So anyhow, so you want my next Who song?
But I would like to go back that.
I think that people want to hear music stuff before our bullshit. So this is maybe good, even though it's kind of in the middle.
Join Together. Wow, you can hear that too. What are you doing over there?
I'm itching my mustache.
But Join Together and Magic Bus, to me, are completely different sounding songs. But that's just me.
I wonder if they're on the same from the same era. I did notice that they put out a record in 1965 when I was 1, which is mind-boggling. In 66, 67, 69, 71, 73, 75, 81, and 82. That's
Impressive.
ridiculous. And somewhere in there, Keith Moon died. I bet it was between 75 and 81, because there's like a 6-year gap there, if my math is correct.
Yes. Wasn't it Who's Next or Who Are You? Was whatever album that's on, he died after that one.
See, here's the problem. Mine are all super well-known songs, which is not real exciting. I'll say okay, I'm going to say Love Reign Over Me is my next one.
Okay.
And you can't not like that. It's a total KQ song.
No, you can't really argue with most of their songs.
Except for fucking Bargain. Or Join Together. That's it.
Yeah.
Bargain was mine.
Well, you're not going to like my next one.
Oh, is it Magic Bus?
No. Love Ain't for Keeping.
What now?
Love Ain't for Keeping.
Okay. That was the Beatles.
Crap, I thought we were doing the Beatles.
I'm not familiar. I don't remember.
Wow, okay.
Can you hum a few bars, or should we just have people look it up on their own?
I have them look it up, but I'm sure other people know.
I mean, seriously, what's the chorus go like?
I think they say Love Ain't for Keeping. It's a very short song. It's only 2 minutes and 50 seconds long.
And that's your second favorite Who song?
I love that song.
Okay. All right.
Why are you getting on to me? Why are you always slamming my pick?
You always throw something in there that I've never heard of that I listen to and go, oh yeah, that's totally good. Like, what was the Beatles song last week that I'm like, I never heard this song, and then I'm like, oh, that's the one they played on the stinking rooftop.
I've got a feeling, and
it's a good song, and I apologize. There. You happy?
And I'd like to say about your Beatles song.
Which one?
I Want You. She's So Heavy.
I Want You So Bad, Driving Me Mad.
That I love that song now because they would edit it on the radio, but it's over a 7-minute song.
Heavy.
It's an 8-minute song.
That's right. That's how I roll, man.
It's a great tune. It's like a jam band
it used
song.
to be a 4-minute song, but then I went to see those guys on the radio and I got to the root of the problem, and now my wife's never been a bigger Beatles fan. I mixed a few metaphors and advertising slogans there. All right, so that was called what now? So your 2 are what?
No, my 3 are Who Are You, Join Together, Love Ain't for Keeping.
I gotta go Baba O'Reilly. I mean, it's so predictable. Teenage Wasteland. It's so good.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even need to be talked about. It's just a really, like, fully put together and sonically awesome rock song, even though it doesn't have a solo. Actually, I think it's got more of a bass solo than a guitar solo.
Oh, I have to listen to it again, but I think you're right.
Well, no. I think it's a keyboard that kind of you know what I mean?
You know, they used to use
radio here, but
a lot of taped music to go along with their concerts, and they had a lot of problems with it not working.
Oh no, really? That's an art. I know another 3-piece band that they're a 4-piece because Daltrey just waves the thing around with his tight pants. And if you're gonna have tight pants, at least you'd have a bigger piece in there than. I mean, it was almost like
why are you looking so hard?
It was almost like a punter, in football, not like a sprinter in the Olympics where, you could tell, what's going on.
I didn't know.
He should have wore pleats. I'm just saying, or maybe wrapped it up a little, a couple ace bandages or something, make it look bigger.
I'm taking these pants back, the pleats.
Yeah.
Accentuate.
Well, you should seriously consider keeping them on. All right, I'm going to give you my honorable mention. That's all I got. I only got the one. Or do you want to do? It's your turn. What's your honorable mention?
One of my honorable mentions was Bargain.
Okay.
And then another one, it's a goofy one, Squeeze Box. I just think that
it's. I think most people would recognize that song, but I think it's a
pop song that the
It's catchy.
yeah, it's
It's a good song. I want to hate the Who or hate on the Who, but I've caught myself tapping my one toe listening to it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of for a rock band, right?
right.
That killed a bunch of people in Cincinnati. By the way,
Wow.
by the way,
Too soon.
my cousin, Audie Billy,
Was that the concert?
was at that show, and he was like in 10th grade, and they didn't know, the people at the show didn't know, there wasn't the internet and shit, right? So like his mom was like, is my kid dead or not? And he rolls in. He was his dad passed away when he was like probably not, kind of right around there. My mom's brother died when he was 42 years old, which is messed up.
That is.
And anyway, but Bill was a cool dude, and he was at that show and didn't give two shits about what time he came home. He maybe didn't have a curfew or something, but
You don't have cell phones. You don't.
yeah, mom was my aunt was worried sick, and it turned out he was fine. But anyway, he's a trippy dude. I saw him about probably 2 summers before COVID. We drove down. I drove my folks down to Dayton, Ohio from Minneapolis. Fun drive. So Audie, Chris, and I took my mom and dad down. We rented like a cool car, like a nice big fucking sedan, and saw Billy Bull, my guy. I gotta turn him onto the podcast and tell him to listen to episode 24 in about 20 plus minutes in. I see this clock. Mark gave me a clock, and this is fantastic.
I think it's.
It really is cool. Is it slow?
No, but that the second number, you're a little bit off.
I know, but I was trying not to.
Oh,
because I know
okay.
that you do your thing.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
Because the deal is this, is that Mark knows how much time we've recorded, but he edits it, so sometimes he takes out a lot of uhs and ahs and F-bombs and stuff like that. So I go, Mark, how much time is left? And it takes him like 5 minutes to go, well, I really don't like to commit to what time is left because Anyway, so he gave me a little clock, and it's good. It's huge. The digital letters are like
You know what? That
2
was
inches tall.
dead on.
It was pretty good. I didn't mean to be like mean or derogatory or whatever.
Yes, you did.
Did I tell you my honorable mention?
You did not.
I think it's called "Can You See the Real Me?" Me. It's a good song.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good Who songs. The Who, I'm Sorry, and so Keith Moon's dead. John Entwistle's dead. Brain cancer. A lot of rock guys get brain cancer. You notice that?
I don't.
George Harrison and him. There's 2. That's all you need. But Roger Daltrey is still alive, and Pete Townsend is. And I think Pete Townsend is like stone deaf at this point. I think he made some poor choices on his ear protection.
There's a few of them. Brian Johnson of AC/DC. He's deaf.
Didn't he quit? Don't they have a new guy?
He did, but then he came back. He said, well, I got special earplugs or something, and he came back.
It's like no girls wanted to get with him. He goes, hey, I'm in AC/DC. They're like, you were in AC/DC. I said you were in AC/DC.
Well,
so then he rejoined, and he's like,
it's a sad segue talking about people who died.
It's a perfect segue. These are people who died. Joe Carroll Band. Or no, the something Carroll Band. Joe or Jeff Carroll. These are people who died.
Oh.
You know that song?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. What's this guy's name?
I don't know.
But we could have a segment. And we can figure out who sings it going in. But we lost like 3 important people in music this week. Yes?
Steve Harrell was not important, but we brought him up actually the episode before talking about cover bands.
Steve Harrell?
From
Look at your
Smashmouth.
Oh, I didn't even
He's
know.
the lead singer from Smashmouth.
So were there 4 people that died?
Well, I only knew of Gary Wright, Jimmy Buffett, and Steve Harrell.
And you led with Steve Harrell. Smart. Anyway, I think that Smashmouth was going to be playing Canterbury this summer.
You brought that up on the other podcast.
I'm going to look it up. So talk about...
But he had been kicked out of the band.
Oh, so it was a different guy?
That's touring with Smashmouth now.
Oh.
Because
so
Steve Harrell died
singer?
of liver disease from drinking too much.
That'll do it. Not from a doorknob or a toilet seat? All right. Yeah, got...
I would like to know who the fourth one is.
The fourth artist?
Yeah, that died.
I don't know.
I must have missed one.
If this thing keeps going, one of us might. So, all right. So Jimmy Buffett, obviously, but who's the other guy? We talked about him last.
Gary Wright.
Gary Wright, Dreamweaver. Gary Wright.
Dreamweaver.
Wow.
Love is alive.
He must have been pretty old.
He was.
Do you know how old he was?
74. No, I don't. No, I think he was 80.
He had to be older than that.
Older than 80. He was 80, I believe.
Yeah, so My Love is Alive and Dreamweaver, and I feel like he had at least one other recognizable song. But, yeah, it's a good run. Hey, back then you could write 2 hit songs and probably do well for yourself. But nowadays it's like you got to keep pumping them out.
It's sad, though. I thought he wrote Cars. It was Gary Newman.
Yeah.
But so
Gary Wright, Gary Newman.
Here in my car, I feel
good
safe
song.
as
One of our guests brought up that song. Gary Newman is like an underrated band.
What else have they done with other than Cars? I forget.
Something about the aliens. I'm living with an alien or some shit like that. He was pretty convinced, so I bought it. I mean, he said it with such confidence. Maybe that was the aha. That's the beauty. Anytime someone says something that sounds like bullshit, but they say it with great confidence, it
Exactly.
could be. Well, why would I doubt him? He's my brother. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. Also, he could probably mix it in a salad, but so could I. That's what I'm saying.
With Jimmy Buffett, do you remember who's the guy who did Super Troopers?
Nope.
The comedian group.
That whole scene is lost on me, man. I feel bad.
Did another.
It wasn't the Groundlings. It wasn't. I know who you're talking about. I mean, I get him. I think it's funny, but I've just never like really related to that kind of stuff.
Well, they did a movie about a guy like Jimmy Buffett, and he started this island, paradise, that all these young people would go to. So it was.
Do you know the name of this movie? It seems like it would be easy, like Cool Island or...
You would think that, but I don't. It just struck me now when I think of these things and I don't think them through. Maybe I shouldn't bring them up without knowing what...
No way, man. I think you totally got to do. You got to do more of that. People love it. They cling to it. They're like, hold on, boss. I'll be right with you. Hold on, top customer. I'm going to... Mark's almost getting to the name of this cool fucking movie that...
I leave it open for people to...
Interpret?
Email us and give us the answers.
Nice.
I know the answers, but I want them to...
This is week 20... This is our 24th episode. And for the last, I would say, 7 episodes, we have been begging people and to give them stuff, to email us. And this week, so we've got nothing. We've had 2 people email us.
We did.
Jason, our first guest, and then Audie A, your kid's friend, and I guess my kid's friend. I don't know if they're friends anymore, but anyway. And then this week we got 2. We got one of our other guests. I mean, we really need to widen the net. Charlie emailed. It's controversial because I said, "What is the Fight Club?" Bob had what?
I know you guys were going back and forth about that, but I gave it to him.
Well, you got to give it to him. But now here's the thing, though. We now have some extra capital or some options because we said, hey, man, if you give us any email with your shirt size and your address, we'll mail you a T-shirt. It won't be an Ascertainer shirt. It'll just be a fucking T-shirt from the store, from Kohl's. That's the good, fucking Target or whatever. Anyway, but now we introduced Newt's shirts as an option, which we are happy to honor that commitment to either Audie A or Charlie. But I just talked to our designer, and she tells me that we are number 2 in the queue. For her, she is designing the Ascertainers logo. We're going to take that logo to Jensen Creative, which will be our new sponsor after they give us a shitload of free t-shirts. No, I'm just kidding. There's a print shop in Minneapolis called Jensen Creative. I think his name is
Jensen?
I think his name is Ronnie or Scotty or Donnie or some such name. His name's Donnie. He hates it when he's in a band called Victor Shores. I could say that, right?
Sure.
Audie V, S. Anyway, this guy's in Victor Shores, and I always remember the other two guys' names. And one time I said, "Hey, Davey!" And he goes, "Well, you remember his fucking name?" Anyway, so that's how we're bonded. So, but he makes t-shirts for a living, like it's a company. And we're going to go to him, and we're going to order some fucking Ascertainers t-shirts with our cool-ass logo. And Audie A and Charlie are going to get free t-shirts, as will Corey. And we gotta figure out how wide we go with the net. I think we committed to Sarah as well. I forget what her size was, though.
And the listener in Germany, got one for you.
Yeah, however your size shit works, is that I look at the tags and I see, UK, JP, GY. Are you the GY? And tell us what shirt size you wear.
Yeah.
Or do you even wear shirts over there, you savages? I don't know. Has the German person listened in a while or no?
Yeah, they've downloaded the last...
I bet they just do it because they like the tone
17 episodes. Maybe they just do it to irritate somebody else.
Love it. That's what really we should be pushing.
But if you do hear this, let us know. We will...
Ich tein
Well, hopefully they know English, that they understand what
when
they're
you're done listening to all your Scorpions and Rammstein and Sound of Music or whatever that other fucking thing is.
Europe?
Europe they're Scandinavian, I thought.
I think that's part of Europe.
I have more fucking...
Isn't that a part of Europe?
I have more favorite Europe songs than Who songs. So right now.
Really?
It's the final countdown and the other two. You ever seen the movie called Hot Rod?
Oh, yeah.
Hot Rod, it's amazing, and it's all Europe. It's like, I think, exclusively Europe songs on the soundtrack. It's so good.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Gods of War. All right, if you like Gods of War, if you like Hot Rod, you're at the right place. I see what just happened with the clock. Are there anything else we need to do? We do have a second episode coming up. And I feel like, though, the whole time we're going to be did we talk about this earlier? So we have to cross off shit off our list.
Yes.
I have some errors and omissions from last episode. Oh, I think I brought this up earlier. The dog that came down and...
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Violated. My dog, Tipper, was not named Jocko or Jacko. My mom corrected me when I talked to her last week after recording. Huge mistake, because she can tell when I've been drinking. Probably has been able to my whole life. Caesar. Who names their dog Caesar? I mean, this is in the era of Caesar Romano, but not Hector Romano. Any of Montreal fans out there? Do you know Hector Romano?
I don't.
Do you know of Montreal?
I do remember...
it's a fun band.
Oh, I was thinking the
Hector
city. I do know the city of Montreal.
Is my favorite boxer. Yeah, it's a good tune for another episode. But, yes, so it was Caesar. And that story is now invalid because Jocko is so much a cooler name. But it was brain damage. It wasn't like I made it up. That's how I remembered it.
Oh, and I want to bring up Layla. It was Jim Gordon, not Commissioner Gordon from Batman, but the guy who killed his own mother, and he wrote the piano ending to Layla for Derek and the Dominoes. That was his name, Jim Gordon.
Is Layla a Derek and the Dominoes song?
I believe so.
I think you're right. Was Badge Derek and the Dominoes? Because that's Clapton's best song.
Well, I'll have to look.
Between that and White Room.
That was Cream.
I know, but was Clapton and Cream?
Yeah, but it wasn't a Clapton song. That was a...
It's so Clapton affiliated songs. Cream,
Okay.
Or
White Room.
White Room, and then... So when we were in college, that David Letterman had that, like Paul Schaefer and the band would play White Room, and this was the conundrum in 1985 and 6, is that you would hear the song and you go, oh, I know that song, and then you just couldn't do shit about it except ask around.
You're right.
Today it'd be like, oh, let me just hit Shazam and boop, oh, that's Cream, White Room.
Unless you knew that guy that had the big library of albums, and he goes, oh, it's right here. Well, I'll look it up.
We had a couple of DJ friends from the Albatross where one of my roommates and I worked, and that's how we hooked it up. I think this is, I think we got to button this one up, man.
Okay.
What do you think? Is there anything else you want to get on? Next episode will include errors and omissions from 2 weeks ago. Pretty boring, and it's probably going to be a shit show, so make sure you come back.
Yeah, really. Way to build it up, but we'll see you next time.